Let's go.
Hey everyone, I'm Yanitza Munoz here on Green Talk by Green Care Solutions on KCAA, NBC Radio, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We are an educational cannabis-friendly show, but you still must be 21 years of age to listen. I'm your host, Yanitza Munoz.
And I'm your other co-host, Brian Gonzalez, representing Green Care Solutions. Follow us at Green Care Solutions 420. Now, Green Talk by Green Care Solutions is a program created to educate you about cannabis. Call us for any of your Green Care Solution needs at 951-609-4071. We are 8-time award-winning company. Follow us once again at Green Care Solutions 420 on IG. We're also on the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yes, and today's show is brought to you by Savvy Socks. They create really cool customized socks, kind of hip and trendy. Their Instagram is spelled a little different. It's Savvy Socks, spelled SAVVYSOX. And we have some of their socks here, and we're giving it to our lovely guest of honor, who I'm going to be talking about shortly. We also have Love Muir. I love their name. Love Muir is spelled LUVMER. They're a CBD line. They have CBD gummies and so much more. You can check them out at their website at Love Muir and on Instagram, Love Muir. They also have another line. It's called His. It's tinted facial skincare. This is their SPF version. It's summer, so obviously you might need to protect your skin. I'm going to be also giving this to our guest of honor. Guys never take care of their skin. I'm like always having to put sunscreen on, guys. Like my siblings, my boyfriend. I'm like, hey, put sunscreen on.
We're going to go into my nighttime facial routine.
Yes.
In a moment.
Yes. So let's get into our guest of honor. We have the one and only, the hilarious Chingo Bling.
Chingo Bling, the ghetto vaquero, el rey de foreplay, the tamale kingpin, the masa messiah, all of that. Executive producer with a rooster. It's good to be here.
Nice. I love how you just rhymed everything. It's
Yeah.
so creative.
Yeah. Just a bunch of words, you know.
Yes. So funny story, Brian. I was on set for Be Real Smokebox, and that's where I saw him. I was like, oh my God, it'd be awesome to have him on set for us. And Be Real is such a cool guy. He's been a regular on our show, and I always say that he lives up to his name. He's like really down to earth, so he is really real, like Be Real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, he's been on our show a few times, and he's just one of the most mellow, down-to-earth guys. It's like you've known him for 20 years if you just met him for the first time. So.
Yeah.
He's like if the THC molecule was a person, it'd be like Be Real.
Yeah, that's so true. So tell me a little bit about like what inspired you to get into comedy. It's such a nerve-wracking profession. Because you're in front of so many people, like making them laugh. It's so, in my opinion, scary.
Yeah, it's a cool job, you know, but it could be very frightening when you're like a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you start to kind of like be patient and learn a thing or two, then it becomes like not like surfing, but like I just imagine skiing. It's like controlled falling. It's a live show. Anything can happen. You just do your preparation and be ready to think on your feet. But yeah, I'm out here in SoCal for the whole month of June, and I thought it was gonna be like a working vacation, like we're gonna go out to eat and this and that. Man, I've been working nonstop, so it's been stressful. I honestly, like, I'm looking forward to just getting back home so I could catch my breath, because it's just a different pace, I think, out here. I don't know.
Yeah, everything in, I guess, in the cities of LA. Yeah, LA, right now we're in Irvine, California, the suburbs of LA, but it's still very, very hustle bustle here. You're from Houston, which I have a lot of family out there. What part of Houston?
So I'm originally from the southeast side of Houston. I live in 3rd Ward right now, which is like near downtown and Midtown. But that's home. That's my home base. And thankfully, because of technology and YouTube and podcasting and all this kind of stuff, is I can be based out of Houston.
Yes.
You know, granted, the comedy scene might vary city to city, or there might be like better acting classes out here and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're considering maybe doing like half the year there, half the year, you know.
Maybe
here.
Summer's here because it's so humid in Houston.
Actually, that's a genius idea. For one, because my 10-year-old, you know, Summer, she'd be off. She'd be free, so she could, you know, come with us versus, you know, being with her mom. But yeah, it's like we're like the Beverly Hillbillies. Like like immigrants. Like we just packed. Hey, we're not taking the whole house. Like, don't bring all your toys. Like but still, we look ridiculous at the airport. Like 2 strollers. I had to bring some merch for my shows. The baby brought a couple toys. It was just like, damn.
Well, I got you some baby socks.
Thank you.
Kid
Yeah, I
socks
saw
from
some Baby
Savvy
Shark
Socks.
ones over there.
Yeah,
I was going to
Baby
be like,
Shark.
hey, could I still get the ones that's over there? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, it must be so tough, like being on the road, right, and be with your family.
Yeah.
So tell me about your jokes. Now, are they very satiric about your life? Obviously, I'm Mexican, so is Brian. So some of it's also with like your culture and.
Yeah. Well, my newest stuff right now that I'm touring with, I either do like 45 minutes or an hour, depending on if I want to throw in an extra few jokes. But I try to make it as universal as possible.
Nice.
Like, I'm not in this to try to be local, yokel, underground. I mean, I like being the underdog. I like being like uncompromising and stuff like that. But I want to do overseas. I want to do Canada. I want to do like off top. If you speak English in your country and you have a similar, when you boil it down, like we're fathers, brothers, sons, wife, husband, child, the human relationships, that's universal. So I want to be able to do Spanish comedy, like that's scary. But I'm trying to just, make as many people laugh as possible.
Yeah, bringing joy to people's lives.
Yeah, so
just like cannabis. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Analogy.
so really, I talk about universal stuff, like but personal as well. Like my wife giving natural birth in the house
Wow.
with a midwife.
Wow.
I tell the whole story, and it's like one of my stories that just really they just crack up. But I talk about like my kids and how me and my dad's relationship and how my life has changed since Netflix, and I'm usually the butt of the joke. So I'm talking about relationships and just universal stuff that people can come and get a laugh.
Yeah, I've always figured that like reality stuff that actually has happened to you is always the most funniest. Like it's just, instead of a made up joke that's just like,
real.
it's cool.
Yeah.
But like if you can relate it, because everybody relates to
Exactly.
what's going on with your life. They're like, oh, that's me too.
Yeah, you have to be honest. You have to be authentic, and just pay attention to like the stuff that's happening in your life that could be funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's something funny with your kid or your wife or what have you. But yeah, it has to be authentic, because if it ain't relatable and if there ain't no punchline, there ain't no surprise, if there's just nothing there, I mean, it's a cool art form, man. I dig it.
And that's a tough thing with, because I have a real good friend that's a comedian, stand-up, and his thing is, even if you introduce new jokes or anything like that, you're always learning. So even if you're professional, you got to say, okay, did this work this time? Do we got to tweak it like you were talking about? So it's just because you're professional doesn't mean that, you don't struggle and try to figure out every single day. So, I mean, it's tough, man.
And comedy, it's like a relationship where she is gonna demand your attention, and I speak of comedy as in the female form, right? So if you neglect her, if you're not coming around, if you're not putting in the time and the work, guess what? It don't matter if you're a black belt, because you're gonna get rusty. Your timing's not gonna be there.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get out what you put in, whether it's this or cannabis or acting or whatever.
What age did you start? Did you do your first actual show that you got booked for?
Well, when I was like 5, I used to tear the house down with my tias, and like I'd get the guitar and try to like serenade the ladies or something. But I really got in the game in college. So I was a college radio DJ, and that was my way of like getting my foot in the door in terms of Houston has a rich music history, independent scene, kind of like, like the Bay Area, stuff like that. And I parlayed that college radio show into, all of a sudden I'm interviewing CEOs and I'm picking the brains of artists and I'm navigating the scene. And then I started selling my mixtapes at the flea market, like the swap meet.
Yeah.
That's what we call them back home, flea market. La pulga.
La pulga. I mean, here we call them farmers markets. I'm just kidding. I got that from Angela, our other co-host.
Okay.
Because I still call them el tianguis or swap meet. And Angela's like, oh, farmers market.
I just remember where I'm from, like it's an indoor swap meet. That's
or
just
the indoor swap meet.
The indoor.
Yeah.
You go into the indoor.
Yeah, some of them are indoor, but indoor, outdoor.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where I started. That's where I came from. So that's how I was able to learn my initial salesman techniques or marketing, or how is this booth going to stand out from the other booths?
Correct.
How can I make this person a repeat customer? So on and so forth. And I started putting silly skits on my mixtapes. And in my mind, the little freestyles and the raps and the skits and me doing personas and voices and all, and like a cartoon in my head, I was like, that stuff, it might pay my cell phone, but this But this hip hop stuff of me, putting together the hottest songs that people like, that's gonna pay the rent. But that my silly stuff got attention, and kids were like, "Yo, where's Chingo Bling at?" They didn't know it was me because I wasn't like in character. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was just like this. I was like the manager, like having to switch hats. But long story short, I did music for many, many years. A bunch of labels approached me, and I was on MTV, and to this day, I still get my residuals, and
Nice.
I still release. I'll get in the studio sometimes, but comedy, she wants your attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
I love it.
And there's constantly like date night, I guess, if you want to compare in that sense, because every weekend you got to be ready. Got to be ready to, I don't know, have a plan.
Ready
I
to
suppose.
perform.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. So, all you listeners, he pointed the CBD. You know what? The cool thing about the cannabinoids, it really does help you. I mentioned one of our shows with Chanel West Coast. I drink a lot of coffee or tea, especially
man,
because I like tea.
That's me.
Yeah, because I'm always on the go. From here I'm going to Europe for a show. So I'm always working, but like literally, what do you do when your eyes are just closing in on? You're just like tired or you're stressed. So you're drinking coffee or tea, and then you get too hyper, and then I'm like, okay, now I can't sleep at night. So the CBD kind of just helps calm you, and it's from Mother Earth, right? So it's not like I'm taking ibuprofen. Melatonin, I take melatonin, but now melatonin has a lot of preservatives in it too. So it's really good to have Mother Earth stuff.
Yeah, and you have to be careful with melatonin in the sense of, artificially supplementing something that you could have made on your own if you just turned off the screens and stuff after a certain hour or whatever.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, and with our CBD, like she was talking about, like our CBD, like we always tell everybody, it's tested twice. Okay. The material used is tested before,
and then I'm gonna test it when I get home.
And then you'll be the third test. But yeah, as far as that goes, I mean, it's hemp derived, so there's cannabis derived CBD, and this is hemp derived, 100% legal, all 50 states.
Okay.
You can do it in all different forms. So people that say, "Hey, I don't smoke," well, you don't have to. You got the drops you can put under your tongue. You got the gummies that you can eat. If you have older dogs or younger dogs that have separation anxiety, we have CBD dog treats as well.
And it helps with the separation anxiety.
Yes, absolutely, because that naturally helps calm them down.
Oh, wow.
And then older dogs that have like arthritis or anything like that, it really does help out a lot.
So they have a cannabinoid system as well? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they can digest
like receptors or whatever?
Yep. Yeah, the receptors, because I was saying something might, like the drops helps really good anti-inflammatory. Like I have real bad knees from playing sports, and that has helped out like my workouts more than I could even imagine. Better than going to chiropractor and getting shot up with, this and that in your knees. And it just, since I've been taking our stuff, like, I mean, I've seen a world of a difference. But like I said, the pain receptors, it might put her to sleep. It might just make me, cool, chill, relax, but less pain. So it works differently for everybody.
Yeah. It doesn't really like put me to sleep, but THC does that actually. But I mean, with the CBD, it's more like it calms me if I've had too much caffeine, or maybe I'm just, have so much going on where I'm like, I got this. I just need to just have, just chill. Yep. The CBD will help bring me back to level ground.
That's what I need, man. Some self-care. I need me like a nap, CBD. Like I might have to just, skip this acting class. They working the hell out of me.
Well, I'm going to give you the information for Love Muir and his. The owner owns a spa called OC Facials. It's here in Orange County. They have 2 locations. So you can go in and take care of yourself. They do like facials for men and the whole thing. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I said earlier, like you guys don't really take care of yourself like as women do. We're all about like skincare and stuff, but guys need it too. So OC Facials, they have 2 locations here in Orange County, one in Lake Forest and one in Mission Viejo. And so hopefully we can hook you up with some, some care for yourself.
Yeah, because, I feel like I need some me time right now. Yes. I might have to do a little spa day.
Yes.
Or something.
Well, and because you have all these tour dates, right? So like, let us know where you're going to be next.
Well, like I said, I'm out in SoCal for the whole month of June. We already did Irvine. We already did San Diego. So we have like Oxnard, Ontario, Hollywood coming up. Also, I got added to Big Boys, Funny Mother Effers. That's how they say it. That's a show. I think we're doing Long Beach.
Nice.
And then I'm at the Comedy Store doing a little 7-minute set in the Belly Room this Thursday. I'm all over.
Yeah.
So, but like I was saying, this acting class is working me.
Nice.
Like, Yeah.
Well, I mean, you definitely need to keep practicing your, I guess, your gift. I always call it a gift because it's something that you have in you, but you always have to keep practicing.
Or the craft.
The
really.
craft, yeah. Basically, you have to keep practicing your
Because a gift
craft.
could only take you so far.
Yeah,
Everybody's born with gifts, but you're going to be setting yourself up for disappointment if you think that your talent alone.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But yeah, I just want to make that note because, you know, because there is a lot of talent. Everybody has some kind of talent. But like what I'm learning from like the craft of acting or comedy is like, whew, like, yeah, you're going to be a white belt in the beginning and you're going to have to be patient with yourself and just embrace the stage that you're at. Like say, you know, say you jujitsu or something, you white belt, yeah, you getting choked out, bro. Like you're gonna panic when the dude jumps on you, you're not gonna know what to do.
Yeah.
But then slowly you kind of navigate whether it's the stage or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Now, what's your ultimate goal? Like, do you want to be on stage with like Kevin Hart, or like do you want to be on stage with George Lopez? Like, what's your ultimate goal from here?
I think my why, like my reason why, is I feel like people go through stuff, and the folks that come to our shows, we always do like a prayer. We try not to forget, do a prayer before the show where we say, well, we remind ourselves, you know, we're grateful for being here, whatever. And we know that somebody out there had a bad day at work, or somebody's really has a lot on their shoulders. Allow us to go up there and make people laugh. They can get that release and feel some hope. So that ultimately, that's the goal. Whether it's a big stage, small stage, whether it's 80 seats or 80,000, I know that that's what makes me happy. It's not about like, yo, once I get that Bugatti, you know, that Rolls Royce. Because it's like, man, that's only going to last. That type of fulfillment for me is only going to last but so long.
Correct.
But I'm really into the craft, and I just want to improve and, you know, a bunch of short-term goals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because like anytime I take me or my friends or anybody to a comedy show, like I cannot leave without soaking up a couple tissues of just laughter, tears, man.
It's a release.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
So
big
no
release,
matter, like you said, you have a bad day, you go there, you're going to leave smiling.
And you know what? Not to get too scientific about it, but if we went back in time when we were a more primitive society, like whether it's like, you know, cavemen or whatever, but let's just say we're a little village, we're a little tribe. There's no cell phones. There's a bonfire, and we're doing what? What would people be doing? That we're human. We're telling stories. We're sharing. There's community. You know, you're breaking bread with your neighbor. And I feel like a nice, intimate, good comedy show where you're connected to the audience and the laugh is a communal laugh because it's contagious. To me, that's almost like taking it back to that fireplace, like that backyard story.
Yeah.
You know, like you imagine the caveman, like, man, I just got back. Like, whoa, what happened? Man, we seen these saber-tooths and they had like a woolly mammoth. I was like, man, I'm going to eat that mammoth because I'm hungry, you know, but I got one saber-tooth, but then they jumped me, you know, whatever.
Yeah, no,
everyone, we'd all be like, ooh, 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 ooh.
Around the campfire. No, it's so funny. Well, what's cool too is like when you're on stage, I guess it's kind of hard to see everybody because you have all the lights on you. That's kind of like a good way to chill. But what do you do when it gets like when you make a joke and everyone's still maybe just kind of like, huh? Like what is it? I don't know. I just feel like being a comedian is so hard. One of my girlfriends is a comedian. I don't know if you know her, Kate Quigley.
Yeah.
She's my good friend, and she says it's super hard.
I know of her. I saw her perform at the Ha the other day, and she did really well. And then she went to kick it by the bar. She was having a conversation, and on my way out, I was like, "Hey, Kate, you know, great show." And she's probably like, "Who the fuck are you? Who the hell are you,
she's so
kid?"
cool. No,
she's dope. Her personality and all that. But to answer your question, the way you try to avoid that is like just preparing all those little muscles in terms of like listening to the audience, your vocal inflections, your attitude, your energy. Are you selling the joke? What's your commitment with the joke? Are you imagining? Are you able to paint a picture to the audience? And so it's a cool art form. I treat it like MMA. I think of it kind of like humor and comedy, whether it's comedic acting. It's all like different art forms, you know. So there's improvisational comedy, there's stand-up, there's sketch. And so I look at it like one could be boxing, one's Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Well, that's kind of a cool way to put it, actually.
Yeah, because each skill is going to lend itself to something else.
Yeah.
You know?
No, very true. Okay, so from here, now, when you go on tour, I know you're just saying that you want to go to Europe.
Eventually, yeah. I got it. Hold on, bro. Babe. Chingo, cálmate, bro. Pump the brakes, mijito. Hey, where's your passport, mijo?
Well, like, why did you come up with the name Chingo
Bling? Man, that's a funny story. I was in the studio doing one of my personas and characters and voices, and I was just like popping some fly stuff, but throwing in cultural things, and it was like relevant, it was new, it was on trend, but I was throwing in traditional cultural things, and people were like, yo, what the hell, man, what is that? Are you gonna do that again? And if so, what are you calling that? And I was just like, man, that's when I do Chingo Bling. Like, I literally got out the booth, I was like, hey guys, just mental note, when I do that, that's Chingo Bling. Everything else is gonna be something else. And they were like, wait, say that again? I was like, Chingo Bling. They're like, like a louder bling? I'm like, yeah. And then they laughed. I said, okay, well, that's a good sign. I just wanted to be silly. I never wanted to take myself too serious, So
what was like your first stand-up like?
Bombed. I was invited to host a local comedy event. Well, the guy who organized it, he didn't show up. He actually got arrested that night.
Yeah.
Long story.
What?
Yeah, so it's like my first time. I grew up watching Eddie Murphy. Like, I knew of Richard Pryor. Like, I would watch Comic View and all these types of things. Anyway, so I'm like, how hard could this be? I'm used to being on stage with people and stuff like that. And long story short, I realized this is a lot harder than what it looks like. So it scared me, and I left it alone for years,
Yeah. So when I saw you on Smokebox with Be Real, we've given him a few of our products by Green Care Solutions. So you're in there telling the same story like what you're telling us, but the difference is he had you smoking.
Yes. Yes.
And
the difference is y'all have oxygen over here.
Yeah. We have air conditioning too.
No, it's like I can like breathe in air.
Yes.
Well, now that you're not high as a kite in the smoke box, we can actually talk about some products without you, with you memorized.
Yeah. Got you.
So like you were looking at earlier, like our infused lemonades, our lemonades are infused with distillate, which basically mask any cannabis taste at all.
Okay.
And the potency is very high.
Oh, wow.
So that's one thing why a lot of our THC and all our products, they don't have that THC on the edibles. Like our sour belts, same thing. Infused the same way. There's 5 sour belts in each one. If you're a beginner or even if you don't have a high tolerance, literally eat a half a strap.
No,
that's how potent they are. So I've had friends that say, "Oh, I ate 3," and then they missed work the next day.
It sneaks up on you too, so you just kind of want to be responsible. But at the end of the day, the difference between cannabis and other things, alcohol can actually probably kill you, and it's a whole different situation. This is just kind of for the time being, and we discussed that too on when we had a show at Kushtalk. When you do like huge events, well, basically Kushtalk is a cannabis event, and it's in California. It's basically, I guess you would compare it to as like a concert /
just huge festival, vendors set up everywhere, music, everything.
Like a car show for marijuana.
Exactly, yeah. And so people are smoking, but there's no fights. No one fights.
Yeah.
But if this was like a concert with alcohol, you're going to see people brawling and getting kicked out.
The ego,
Yeah. And so with the THC, you can still relax, have a good time. It's different. But yes, obviously, edibles, you do have a different reaction. So you kind of have to be a little cautious on that. And everyone listening, I'm sure they know what we mean.
Yeah, longer lasting high for sure. So it's either for you or it's not for you.
Yeah, it's different because it goes to your liver first. And so,
yes, so you know,
But the one thing I want to talk about on this episode that we just launched is our brand new Elevation cartridges.
Okay.
So they're basically an over 90% THC distillate and infused. So it's clean. Everything's tested, like I said, like with all our products, because with quality with our company, you'll find out, is our main thing. We don't cut any corners.
everything's tested too. So we meet the California, actually the United States standards.
So we actually have 14 different strain specific cartridges that we have. I'm going to go through the list because there's a lot of people out there that likes variety, sativas, hybrids, different flavors. We have Purple Punch, Do-Si-Dos, Apple Jacks, Starburst, LA Confidential, Jet Fuel, Jack Hare, Gorilla Glue, Skittles, Gelato, Jungle Cake, Mimosa 26, King Louie, and Sunday Driver.
Question. So when you compare like a Jack Hare to a Gelato, for instance, what you're getting, because this is something I wonder, right? What you're getting is like X amount of THC or per whatever CBD, and maybe some of the flavors of that strain.
Yeah, correct. Everything that we use is organic terpenes from that profile, from that strain, whatever it may be.
Got it.
Because all these, like, people might say, oh, Apple Jacks, you just want to flavor it like a syrup. There's actually a strain of cannabis that's been crossed that is actually, Apple Jack. So it's Jack Herer crossed with another one that gives it that nice sweet sativa taste. So everything on there on our terpene profile is all organic. So
I know it's y'all interviewing me, but sativa, hybrid, or indica?
yeah, so sativa is
what's your preference?
Oh, indica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Indica.
Both. Oh,
Yeah,
not a hybrid.
because THC I usually do just at night to go to sleep.
Okay.
During the day, it's CBD like all day. Running around, the oil, the drops. We have our roll-on too for joint pain, and that's what gets me through every day with pain-free.
And I'm more of a CBD person. When I smoke anything with THC, it would be like on a weekend or something. It's just a different situation. But I'm an advocate for cannabis, but I just really love CBD. Like I said, it's better than just taking all these chemicals, these pills that we can get at CVS, Walgreens, and CBD, as long as it's tested right. Because you can accidentally, there's a company we mentioned when Chanel was on, Chanel West Coast, Koi.
Yeah,
The
Koi
CBD line, they didn't test properly. Some CBD mess, like it went through however testing they had more than the 0.3 THC that cannabinoids allow for sale, like why it's called cannabinoids.
So it had more THC in it?
Yeah, because
And some people got high, and one guy lost his job because he was getting drug tested. Federally,
yeah. Yep.
you can't have it in your system. Like if you work at, let's say, Target, right? It's federal agreements, federal contracts. You get drug tested, you'll lose your job, even though you're in a legal state like Colorado or California.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to evolve. Like as public opinion changes, we're no longer in some states it's prohibition still, right? But I think there's a lot more information and there's a different propaganda. It's not like if you smoke a joint, you're going to go crazy like the Mexicans. And, start
of course.
Rioting and stuff because of the joint. He's got joint fever. Oh no, it's like rabies. So I wonder as public opinion changes if it's going to be like in the future, you can smoke on your free time and work at Target.
Correct.
Or if it's going to still be like a...
There are some states that are definitely going towards that way. I've read a brief article. I can't speak on it fully, but I know Nevada is in the works of being accepted for THC in your system as far as that goes. So we'll look into that more, but I know it is, like you were saying, it is going to go more towards that. So corporate jobs, people don't have to fear for their jobs.
Well, my job, I'm kind of encouraged to smoke. So,
So like ease attention.
Yeah.
Yes. And Love Muir has the gummies as well. So it's nice to, if you just want to have a few, those you can't really OD off any of the gummies. Great pain aid. So for instance, we mentioned that earlier too, because with you have a hard time working out. You kind of have like this arthritis issue you were mentioning.
I just have no cartilage pretty much in my knees. It's hereditary. But with the CBD oil, like I literally have been able to do stuff at the gym that I haven't been able to in like the last 15 years. Like no joke.
Do you have any pain or anxiety?
Yeah,
Do you have issues? No, I'm just
a
kidding.
ton. It's like a storage unit full of issues. I just go in there and be like, damn, I got to sort through all these. But yeah, physical issues would be like my right shoulder. I don't know what it is, bad posture, stress that somehow never got, that pushed up out of there. So this right shoulder kills me. Physically, that's about it. But anxiety, sometimes.
Probably 'cause you're just so busy.
No.
Drinking coffee.
Yeah, that doesn't help, right? The stimulant. But with me, honestly, it's just a matter of me learning the muscle, because what happens is worrying and stuff like that becomes a habit, and then it becomes like a crutch, and then it just becomes a pattern, and then it just becomes a groove in your brain. And I'm slowly realizing like, hey, it might not be my personality or hereditary or whatever. Like maybe I need to chill the F out.
Yeah.
Give me some CBD and a little bit more THC in my life. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. That's why I'm here. And I'm learning that, you gotta, be present and slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why, me and my wife and kids, we love to travel and go in different places, because we notice that sometimes in America, man, we need products like this because we're going 100 miles an hour. It's the rat race, especially if you live in a big city like us. You know, Houston's I think about to be the third largest. I think we're fourth. We're like fourth behind Chicago. But over here, y'all got a lot of people.
We have a lot of people.
A ton of people. Yeah, a ton of cars, ton of people. So yeah, you know, the rat race, man, after a while.
And even, with your career, too. I mean, you're dealing with so much competition in the sense, but I mean, not really, because at the end, I feel like every comedian is so different, but maybe competition because everyone's trying to book at the same place. Like everyone wants to be at the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store. So you're kind of like, trying to get through.
Well, yeah, my point of view, you know, I'm 39. I'm about to be 40.
You don't even look
I
that
got a baby.
age.
I got a baby face. I turned 40 in August. I've been in the game for a minute. So I've learned that it's not really about competition. As long as you're doing your homework and like you're focusing on your craft, keep your eyes on your paper and just worry about your goals. And you're gonna be yourself. And once you got that on, you got prime real estate with yourself. Can't nobody else be you.
Yeah.
So I'm learning that as well. You know.
Is there any other like projects you want to mention in regards? You mentioned Netflix earlier.
I have a podcast as well. You can just, you know, search my name, Chingo Bling. But a lot of cool stuff. ChingoBling.com. You know, I'm going to have launch my merch, and that's when my tour dates are. But the main thing is I want to go to these cities and meet people. You know, this is your first time learning about me. You know, our live shows are fun. You know,
who knows? You might have a special on Netflix. You never know.
Well, I do. I have one on Netflix.
So that's because I remember we mentioned that.
Yeah, we still own it. It's not a Netflix original. We licensed it to them, so we still got the intellectual property. But it's called They Can't Deport Us All. And that was like my rookie year when I just dove into stand-up. But now I'm about to be on year 5. And, you know, I'm digging it, man. I'm learning to relax thanks to, you know, products like these.
Yes.
It's fun.
Well, I mean, it's you're first-generation Mexican?
Yeah, so my parents
I'm first-generation, too. So how do your parents feel about you being a comedian?
My dad still doesn't consider it a real job.
Yeah.
He's just like, well, mijo, the little project you're doing was, I see, it's I guess you're doing okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're ever going to get a real job, you know, a man's job, that's how I lost this finger.
That's so funny. So, we're going to have our specialists also talk about the legal part of cannabis. And I know Texas is super strict.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that part of our educational part of the show, because a lot of our listeners, you know, they kind of don't know that much about the laws. Like, for instance, like traveling, like Chanel West Coast was saying that she got in trouble in South Dakota for having some weed on her. Be Real has gotten in trouble. Who else? The Pop Brothers at Law were on our show. They were educating us. Yeah, so basically don't put any THC in your suitcase on your way back to Houston. Be careful.
And the other thing, like, you know, every state varies. We're here in California. So to keep everybody up to date with what's going on here in California, the biggest thing is the overregulation and everything, the people that are paying all these taxes to have legal shops, legal grows. What's happening, they're finally cracking out and putting huge DEAs, everybody sheriffs in all the illegal outdoor grows, indoor grows. They're sweeping. Like in Riverside County this last week, I want to say it's been over 100 different grows they have just cut down, and they're cracking down hard. Just because the thing is, too, is there's no regulation on those, first of all, you know, so you don't know what chemicals they're putting into it. People just want everything for cheap. They don't care about the quality. So what happens is they're eliminating all that stuff. So the people who are actually doing it the right way can actually benefit.
So there's demand in the black market, even though it's legal?
Correct.
How does that
big
work?
Time.
Just to
The
save
taxes.
on the taxes?
Absolutely huge. Because when you go from medical since I think it's 1997, I think it's been since in California. And then all of a sudden now you're going to say you have to pay 35 to 40% tax on top of what you normally. That's a shock to a lot of people that's been using cannabis for a long time. But for new people that, you know, I want to try and go, they don't know the difference. They don't know any better. Hey, $60 for an eighth when they can get it on the street for 25, 30, whatever it may be. So what happens?
Yeah, that's me. That's me going in there like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Do you guys have an ATM here? 'Cause I didn't know it was gonna be so much.
Yep, that's it. So they're really cracking down hard on these. But like I said, there's positive and negatives for everything. It just depends on who you talk to and what their view is. So,
that sucks.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's there even since Prop 64 happened. I think it was January 1st, 2018. Is when it went into effect. And then we're already in mid 2019, and now they're finally doing. So it's taking time, but just be aware out there if you have an illegal grow or anything like that. Just the
block is hot. Need y'all
they're
to go
coming.
ahead and lay low.
Yes, absolutely.
Notice, I'm not trying to speak code with my people, but
I got you. I know what that means. Got you.
Yes.
they got it. They're subscribed. And also comment, like, reshare. Thank you.
Absolutely. So it's just one of those things too. And the other thing I want to jump into, our CBD canna-hookah we came out with about a few months ago. We actually had two big events this last weekend on Friday and Saturday. One in Orange County and then one out there by the Ontario Mills Mall, actually, probably 10 feet from where you're going to be performing.
Yeah.
Well, we had a event for everybody, the public, come out, and now we have two hookah lounges that are carrying our products in there. So if you have friends, after you want to go, somebody wants to smoke, relax, you don't want to do tobacco, well, you have the CBD canna-hookah there as an option too. End of your day, just relax and everything. So, so one was the Hidden Cafe out in Anaheim, and then the other one is the Flock Ultra Lounge in Ontario, right by the Ontario Mills. So, guys, check them out. Go visit them and go check all our flavors. We got 7 flavors for you guys. So,
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the cannabis space, but it's always good to have like the right products, like legal products. So before we close up the show, I also want to just mention, so when you were on Smokebox, you were talking about like similar stories, but yeah, unfortunately you were smoking.
Yeah. I probably left out parts of the story that was important, like the end and stuff like that.
End.
The beginning. Just tell the middle. Yeah.
What was the interview like with Be Real?
Man, I tried to prepare. I tried to get my tolerance up. I did everything. I did the push-ups. I did everything.
Everyone says that. Even Joe Rogan, Chanel West Coast was on the show.
What did Rogan say? Oh, that he was just gone.
Joe Rogan, because he was on Joe Rogan's show first, and then he went on Be Real Smokebox, and Joe Rogan was like, I've never, ever been so...
barbecued.
Yeah, for the longest time. He said even the next day he was feeling it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? When I met you, I was kind of just trying to rush out to get oxygen.
Yeah.
And to like walk around and chill a little bit before I just call a Lyft and put the wrong address and end up like, why am I in Kentucky? Most expensive Uber ride ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to kind of like, and I had acting rehearsals after that. So I told my classmates, I'm like, I'm gonna be I'm on my way. Like my body's here, my the rest of my soul is still coming down.
It was Be Real.
Yeah, he was like the oracle, because he has that energy and that vibe.
And the way he has the show set up, because he has all these GoPros in the car and this like really
like a
cool
confessional.
and this really cool Cadillac, and all the lights are on you, and then there's smoke everywhere, so you can't really see outside, so it's kind of like you're in a dream. And
yes,
so I can only
exactly, because it's daytime. You're absolutely right. But
you're
they put the
inside.
black curtains, and you're inside a warehouse, and all the lights are off except for the mini ones to light our face. So yeah, it definitely was like getting off of a roller coaster time machine spaceship.
And then Vero with his sunglasses, he's just like a real
like
OG.
peering into your soul, like so.
So tell
my
me.
son.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm there behind the scenes watching everything. I was like, oh yeah, this guy is getting barbecued. But it's
You can tell, right? I'm sure they're gonna they're gonna light me up in the comments. They're like, dude, look at the way he's holding the joint. Or like, dude, he's not even inhaling right.
Of course, yeah.
But if you're breathing in the car, you're inhaling.
Yes.
That's how much,
No, but have you seen yourself on that show already? Did it already come
No,
out?
I don't think it's out yet. But they tagged me in one of the photos.
Okay, cool.
And if you zoom in to my eyes, you can tell I'm under.
Should have been wearing sunglasses.
Man, they were just like very red, and but I
Yeah.
felt great,
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. I know you're super
Yeah.
busy jumping from like classes to radio
Being a
interviews,
dad,
being a dad, being a husband, traveling,
up, everything,
stand up,
yeah.
creating content.
date night.
Date night, yes. Well, thanks so much for being on our show, Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. We're going to give you some products from Savvy Socks, from Green Care Solutions, Love Muir, and Why His Skin Line. And, like we always say here on Green Talk by Green Care Solutions, the end of our show, we're always sad to, say goodbye to you guys, but we're really happy that you're on the show. You guys can always catch us on YouTube if you missed our recording on KCAA NBC Radio, and you can listen to us 24/7 on iHeartRadio and on Spotify. Just type in Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. I'm your host, Yanitza Munoz. You can find me at Yanitza Munoz on Instagram and Facebook, everything, Twitter. It's a weird name, so you can definitely find me on all of those platforms.
Google.
And it's been Brian Gonzalez here representing Green Care Solutions. As always, find us at Green Care Solutions 420 and just stay up to date. We have events all the time, so just stay posted.
Legalize it.
Yes. And obviously, people already know your gram, but for any new listeners, your plugins.
On Instagram, I'm real Chingo Bling. Official Chingo Bling on Facebook. But if you just Google it, Google's your friend.
Yes. Google is like, gosh, I don't even know how people could have lived in the past without Google.
It's like my partner.
Yeah, you
like,
just Google
up,
anything.
Google?
Yeah, it's like the GPS. Anyways,
Everything.
we just need it.
Yeah.
I'm a little dependent, but
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening here on Green Talk by Green Care Solutions.
You're listening to the sounds of Hollywood.
Mash up when the tune them drop. Turn it up low to the top non-stop. Place a mash up when the tune them drop. Turn it up low to the top non-stop. Place a mash up when the tune them drop. Whole place back from the front to the back. When we are party, the thing never hot.